Rabbi Sai, we're holding in Chulin Daf Pei Aleph. We're starting in for about 10 lines down Daf Pei Aleph from Aleph. Omar Nuno says, Oyimar Reb Shimon in Oysoi Vezbnoi Noeg Bekochim. Shimon holds, Oysoi Vezbnoi is not Noeg in Kochim. My time, 1 minute. Kivan the Omar Reb Shimon Shchita Sheina Ruyo Loish Mashchita. So now we're going back to that sukkah. Shimon holds that Shchita Sheina Ruyo is not a Shchita. Shchita, which is not a good Shchita, is not a good Shchita, right? So therefore, what? Shchita's kochim, not shchita she'eino riuri. Shchita kochim is a shchita of that which is not riuri. Why? Why not? Because, like we said before, you're still requiring zrika. So shchita of kochim, there's no yisov is no bekochim. So we learned, how do we start the parak? Yisov is no bechulim bekochim. According to Shimon, that because that's shchita riuri. Says the Gemara, Meisei Robo, Oysav is noi, Kochim b'chutz. Yeah, Oysav is noi, and it's a Kochim outside. There is a Yisur Loisase on the second one. Meaning, let's go back to the concept of the Mishnah. You check the mother on today, Monday. Then you're over at Yisur Kochim b'chutz. Now I want to take the son. Can I bring the son in Beis Hamikdash? No. Why not? Because the mother will show today. So therefore you can't bring it inside. So when you do it outside, you not have cars. Comes the Gemara now, it says, according to Shimon, you have a lav. There's a special lav. There's a lace says it. What is the lav? You have a lav. How she says lav shuti chutz, because he brings the Gemara in Zvachim, miloy sasuk chol shanach lo yisipoyu. The special lav, even though you can't bring it today inside, you still have. Vein b'kores, in a laser say, which are made or old, that there's no such thing. If there's no lav, if there's no cars, there's no laser say, there's no laser says, there's no cars. If there's laser, there's a cars. Kashal kochim b'chutz, sheni b'loisa say, kal mikta kotel shem is kal b'frimi. What do you mean? If I do kochim outside, it was a shchita sheni ruyu. If shchita sheni ruyu, the second one is ruyu to be a korban. So why am I not chayav a kochim? Kores tam l'chayav. You can still bring in the tzayit because the first one is not a real killing. According to Shimon. You're missing a part in this brisa. Let's rephrase the brisa. We're going to go with this brisa to learn. Based on this brisa, we'll be learning these different parts of the Mishnah. Kachim, let's go through the different cases. Based like a nice chazara of the Mishnah. Kachim, you have a mother and a son. They're both are kachim. Shneihem b'chutz. He does both outside. The Rabbanon Rishon Anus Karish. The first one is Chayav Karis. Why? You did Kachim outside. Nobody argues with that. Sheni Pasul Upoto Milav the Shlichot. Second one, you can't bring it to the inside because the Oysav is Noi. So therefore, you're not Chayav on nothing. No Karis, no Lav, nothing. Leb Shimon, Shnei Manushu Karis. The both Chayav Karis. Why? Because according to Shimon, the first one he did outside is Chayav al Kachim. But that's not a Shechita Riyuyo. So you can bring the son to Beis Hamikdash. It's kind of the second one as well. Going back to the Yisai, they were learning the previous daf that by Kachim, it's like it's Bahachich Bechon. It's like Zeres HaKosuv that if you do it outside, you're Chayav, even though it's a Shechita Sheina Rui. Now, Echad B'chutz HaRabivim, he took the mother, did it outside. They did the child inside. Now, Boy Rishon on his cars, he did it outside. Sheni Pasuk, because you can't do it Oysav Ezbenoi. Upat. Lab Shimon, Sheni Kasher, why? Because the first one is Shechita Sheina Rui. Second one was done inside. It's good. It's okay. The mother was done inside. Good kachim. Everything's great. The son was done outside. The bottom we should kasher upater. There's nothing wrong happened. Sheni pasul upater. Why you pasul? Because you're doing it's oyster of night and it was done correctly. Shimon Sheni belois says the Sheni has the lois. Oh, here we get to the lois. Meaning you're right. If it was done outside the mother, so then the son is Shchita Sheni Ruyu. So the mother is Shchita Sheni Ruyu. Then you have the son. But if the mother was done inside, so then the son is going to be only a license. He's like that. Sheni my beloisas sevetuloi kores namil chayev. If there's no yisor by a kachim, so you're allowed to do the sheni. So the sheni is royal scholar of the film. So why are you saying it's only a license? Should be a chorus. You made the mother inside.
Yeah.
Now what is it going to say? That case classic. We just brought the whole Bryce just for that last case. You have the mother and the son are both kachim. You do the mother in Beis Hamikdash, Gavaldik. Ari was the Kohen, he went and did it. Now comes some terrible person who took the son and takes the kachim and does it outside.
The next.
That day. He does that day, the kosher matzah. So Rabbanan, you can't be chayav because oyster is not royal to be mitzayim. Says Rav Shimon is a loisas. But according, you just said, we just started the sugya, the Ravina told us that according to Amnuna, sorry, not Ravina, Amnuna told us that according to Yeshiva, there's no oyster, there's no bekachim. So is no bekachim, so the son you can bring today. So you can be chayav. There's no malchus. Why no malchus? Kivan, you will be cursed, but there's no malchus. Why? Kivan the kamadul. You have malchus curse on kachim outside, not oyster bismur. The opposite. There is oyster bismur. He's saying there is oyster bismur. There's no curse. There's no kachim outside because you can't check the sun inside. So what do you say? There's no oyster bismur. Now there's no isur oyster bismur. There's no malchus of oyster bismur. Why? So look at Argus. So Argus says, "Kivan the kamadul is zog down l'mishtari basar. Pini the kashok dav atro sofik. Atro sofik lo yishmasro." Here's the problem: when you shech the animal, as we said before, can you eat it? Shech the animal, cut you. Have to wait for zrika. So when you shech the animal, you want to give a lav of oyster v'znoi by kachim. You want to do oyster v'znoi. You're not going to be, you can't, every time a person gets malchus, he has to get a surah, he has to get a warning. So the Eidim come and tell him, "Oh, Mr. Eid, if you're going to do this, you're going to get whipped," right? So 1 second, if I don't do Zrik, I'm not going to get whipped. I may do Zrik, I may not. What are you doing, right? That's called surah safak. Surah safak means you can warn him only when something was definite. Here, you're going to get the malchus only if you do the Zrik. You don't do this week, you're not going to get the malchus. Right. So Suffolk. So if there's no, you can't give malchus. There's no malchus. That's what he says. That's a Rashi. That's the use that we have. But Rashi disagrees. Rashi says no. It's not because of a short Suffolk. It's better than that. He says it's much more simpler. If you have oysav is knowing, so when you're shechting the sun, it's shchita sheina ruyu. Why? I can't check the son today. Comes up somebody, he checked the mother. Then he takes the son. Tell him, "Oh, it's oyster is blowing, now let us check it." If he goes and he checks it, there's no malchus. You know why? Because it's not a shchita. Shchita sheina ruyu. And according to the shchita sheina ruyu is lav shchita. So forget about the short suffix. Because it's not a shchita. You didn't do it. That's why Rashi changes the gears. It says there's no oyster is malchus oyster is blowing because there's no shchita. Comes Taisus in the previous one, it says no. The same way when you do kachim outside, it's shchita sheina ruyu, but you chayav. Why? Because that's what the Torah said. So also when you shech the sun, if oyster is doing like the kachim, right? It's shchita sheina ruyu, but you still get malchus. So the only reason you can get to it, you have to go to the use of the Gemara because that's trust of. How's the Rabbi time in the he chulin ubno shlamim? If the mother is chulin and the child is shlamim, shechet chulin haga shechet shloim pater. Why pater? So according to our Girsa, the trust of it, you have to do zrika. According to the other Girsa, because it's a shchita sheina ruyu. Shloim haga chulin chayav. Mama Rabbi he chulin ubno oila. Another nikuda. If the son is not a shloim, is the oila. Can you eat the oila? What do you do with the oila? What do you do with, Avigdor, what do you do with the oil? Oh, go, Hashem, you can't eat it. So let me buy a shachat chulin, I can shachat oil butter. If you did chulin oil, of course you butter, because either it's a shor suffix, or because what we said before, or because the shchita sheina ruyu, a piavel base. Ela, if you shachat oil, ve'achar kach shachat chulin, butter, why? Shchita kamaiso, lav shchita b'azachiloi. The first shchita is not edible. Why? Because it's oil. Says the Gemara, it is a chilo. You don't eat it, but the mizbeach eats it. By time of Domakovi, Machol Yochel Mipsar Zevach Shlomo B'Shtei Achilles because of Daber, Chalach Yesod Machal Mizbeach. The chilo of the mizbeach is also considered to be an achilo. So that's why it's going to be also achilo. Okay, so you have a din achilo over here, and that's what's considered a shita. So the Mishnah. Ashoichet v'nimtzo treif. Someone who shechted and the animal is treifah, which means you can't eat it. Ashochet avodazara, you can't enjoy it. Ashoichet poros chatos veheglo arufu. Someone shechted ashochet poros chatos the shor niskol veheglo. Very good, excellent. See, follow. Made a mistake. So ashoichet poros chatos, you now allowed to enjoy poros chatos also. Shor niskol, you now allowed to enjoy it. Eglo arufu, you now allowed to enjoy it. It all becomes also. You now allowed to eat it. So Shimon point to Shimon. In all these cases, there's no Yisrael because you can't eat. You can't eat. Shchita sheina ruyu. Choy mechayev. But Ashaycha then Isnablo Biyodi Shechter and becomes the veil. V'anoicher v'ameaker. Someone who does nechiro, which means he goes and he, how do they translate nechiro? Tears it off. V'anoicher is pulls it from its place. So it's a bad shchita. Potter should ois of his blood. Then there's no. According to Abanon, you have in a shchita shenaruf. The shchita itself is good. Just technically you can't eat it because it's a paschatos, because whatever it is. But here the shchita yuchayo because it is shchita ha. It's considered to be shlish. It's not a good shchita. So there everybody agrees no ois of his blood. Okay. So now we have to end today's daf. From here to the end of the Amud, we're going into another sugya of Maseches Ksuvos, the famous sugya we discussed. Everybody remembers it from Yeshiva. Kimle b'd'arminei. What's the idea of kimle b'd'arminei? It means very simple. You can't punish somebody for one act, two punishments. Right. So what do you give him? The more severe one. Kimle, enough for him, b'd'arminei, the bigger one. You don't give him two things. That's a cloud that we'll see if everybody agrees. Yeah. Right. Malchus, I want to give him Malchus. Misa and Malchus give him Misa. Misa and want to give him Misa, etc. Now, there is a machlokes, that's the sugya today. Machlokes is what happens if you did not actually give him the punishment. Meaning, you have over here someone. Let's say there's no straw. Let's say there's no straw. There was no warning, or it was shaygik. He did by mistake. He didn't punish him, but he did that there, and he potentially could have get the bigger punishment, but he didn't. So do you say so? He's not going to get the bigger punishment or the small punishment, or no? Then he does get the small punishment. That's the discussion today. Let's see. So come on, Shibulakish.
Why is the para? The para
do not let eat.
Oh, you're not allowed to eat that?
No, because Kaddish, if you once you're magid, we'll see the Gemara later. Once it becomes Kaddish, you're not allowed to eat. Okay. We mentioned in the Mishnah that he shech avodah mother, so he shech the mother and the son. And shech avodah zarah, there's no ice of his blood. Who did he shech avodah zarah? And then Rav Shimon said there's no ice of his blood, but upon the whole day is ice of his blood. So what are we talking about? The mother was of the Zara. The second one he showed for himself. So then, according to Rabbanan, he's chayav of his blood, even though the first one was not a good shchita. But it was the opposite. The first one, the mother is shecht okay. The son is shechting for avodah zarah. So he's shechting and doing ois of his blood and avodah zarah. Two things in one shot. Patu the kim le'arminei is going to get misa for avodah zarah and no malchus for ois of his blood. I was giggling. What do you mean? Every child in school knows this. What do you mean? In your sleep, you turn around. What's the chiddush? Sometimes even if he doesn't say the Zara, they warned him only for his night. They didn't warn him for the Zara. So then he's not going to be chayav. So then he's chayav for his night. That's a birch. Shlomo Lokish, I know. Shimon says, if they wouldn't warn him, would he get Misa and now Malchus? So even now they're not warning him, he doesn't get Malchus. Those will tell me to go with Shitosam. He also have Dimioma, Chayvim, Misa, Shagim, Chayvim, Malchus, Shaychim, Dovach. He has Misa or Malchus together with money. When he was shaking, he didn't be shaking, he's not going to be punished for it. So says you have to pay. He's chayav on the money. Why if they did warn him, you get be potter. You learn from a pasuk that once you potter, you're potter. Why I need both sugis, the sugi and ksubas and the sugi be'as? Because by us it's misa and malchus. Here it's misa and mammon. Yes, we go come up shim lakish abdoin moida bechra. Meaning, if you'd say one, but I know the other. Which one? So Rashi learns, the shot is, that if you would say, by us, you have Misa and Malchus, you potter, say, okay, Misa and Malchus, you potter. Because Misa and Malchus both on the body. So you say, on the body, you get Misa, or you have potential Misa, Malchus is out. But money, which is on your money, then maybe you're chayav if you don't actually get the Misa. And this is you potter as well, according to Shlokish. You would say the other case by moment. That's what Rabbi Yechezkel says you chayav because it's completely separate from the body. But in the body itself, you potter. That's Rashi. Tais says the opposite. Tais says if you tell me by there, so there is Shlokish says because money compared to your body, you let it go if you have a punishment for your body, even though you didn't actually implement it. But Misa and Malchus, they're both in the body. I'll think, okay, if you don't have Misa, give the Malchus. At least you have something. But and according to Birchon, the opposite. So I need to both sugis because I'm not so sure I would learn Misa and Mammon maybe yes or no, or Misa and Malchus maybe yes or no, and would know that. That's why I have both sugis, and that's what we're saying over here. The Machlekes of Rechim Mishlakish by us as well. So we'll stop over here. Continue from here, Be'ez Hashem, tomorrow.